Hey guys, welcome back to Weekly Weird News.
So earlier this week, we put out a little video where we mostly talked about how bizarrely cutthroat and competitive the internet mattress industry is. And towards the end of that video, we talked about how some eccentric billionaire over in Australia was working on building a new version of the famously doomed Titanic cruise ship, and that this was just the latest oddball venture from this eccentric Australian billionaire. Well, the 4.1% of our audience that are Australians quickly let us know that we were merely scratching the surface of a subject that was ripe for further exploration. So let's take a closer look at Clive Palmer. Businessman, politician, poet, meme lord, visionary.
So just to recap about how we became aware of this Clive Palmer dude, he's been earnestly planning to build a full-size replica of the Titanic, a ship that's still famous today pretty much only because of how arrogantly ambitious it was and how horribly everyone's overconfidence blew right back up in their faces when the ship hit an iceberg and sank, killing somewhere around 1,500 people out of the estimated 2,224 people on board. A horrific and totally avoidable tragedy.
Yeah.
But hey, ever since that James Cameron movie, a huge chunk of the population is apparently able to look past all the pointless death and focus on the fun aspects, like shouting, "I'm king of the world" on the front of a cruise ship, or fucking Kate Winslet and or Leo DiCaprio in their prime.
They both look great. They still do. So there's definitely a market for this, and Clive Palmer isn't even the first person to attempt it. Right after the release of the Titanic movie, a South African businessman announced plans for a Titanic 2, but it never got past the planning and financing stages. So enter Clive Palmer. In 2012, almost 100 years to the day since the sinking of the original Titanic, Palmer announced that he had made an agreement with a shipyard in China to build a new Titanic. And for a while there, everything seemed to be on track for completion in 2016. Yeah, that of course didn't happen, with the main culprits being alleged financial difficulties facing the project, as well as the fact that
Cruise ships are expensive.
Yeah, as well as the fact that the Chinese company hired for the project has only ever built cargo ships, which are obviously a little bit different from cruise ships, especially when it comes to safety regulations and things like that.
It floats though.
People are just cargo at the end of the day.
Beautiful human cargo.
We're all just carbon.
Yeah. Side note though, not long after Palmer's announcement for the Titanic 2, a completely different company in China also announced plans to build a replica of the Titanic. Just classic Chinese manufacturing.
Chinese one-upmanship.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Nice iPhone. Be a shame if we made the exact thing for cheaper.
Alibaba.
Anyways, they wisely chose to make theirs with absolutely no intention of ever traveling on the sea. And theirs will be completed sometime around 2019. It'll be a permanently docked tourist attraction at a theme park near Chengdu. By not requiring it to be an actual seafaring vessel, they'll be able to actually keep the interior design much more similar to the original ship than Palmer's Titanic, which will have to be heavily modified to meet modern safety code. Or not. Fuck it.
Yeah. But back to Clive Palmer's Titanic project, if it ever does get completed, and that's at this point a big if.
Yeah.
The planned route for the ship will be from Zhangzhou, China to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, which is a distance of over 6,000 kilometers just in a straight line, and it would probably take like a month by ship. So not a very quick journey, and pretty ambitious for a ship named after the goddamn Titanic of all things.
Yeah.
But hey, at least they'll be traveling through nice warm water that isn't full of deadly icebergs, right?
Whoops.
Well, no. In a strange coincidence, a company in the United Arab Emirates announced just this week that in order to combat the country's looming drinking water shortage, they're gonna go down to Antarctica, tie a lasso to a big old iceberg, and just haul that damn thing up to the UAE and then use it as a new source of fresh water. It's fucking brilliant.
The fact that these two stories, we didn't cross paths in any of our research at the beginning of this whole thing, and just like the Titanic and that iceberg, just collided in a beautiful way.
They didn't see it coming, but there it was.
Yeah, they were speeding. Came out of nowhere. Anyways, obviously, that sounds even more ridiculous than building a replica Chinese Titanic, but the UAE is a very ambitious place. What with their ridiculously tall buildings and their plans for jetpack firefighters and flying taxis, but assuming they do manage to tie their hitch to an Antarctic iceberg and tow it all the way back to Dubai without it melting in the downright hot and extremely salty water of the Persian Gulf, it's still highly unlikely that Clive Palmer's Titanic 2 will manage to hit one of these icebergs and sink, right? Because that'd be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous. That's obviously not gonna happen.
No, not gonna happen.
That water, I've swum in the Persian Gulf. It is the saltiest and hottest ocean water I've ever.
Oh, you float right on top of it. It's great.
If you get even,
that's what they're hoping, because you know you only see the tip of the iceberg.
That's right.
You only see 10%. Yeah, so it'll start slowly coming up.
Yeah, I got just like a drop of it in my eyes and had a red eye for like an entire week.
Yeah,
salty.
Beautiful place.
Thing is, though, back to Clive Palmer, he's pretty ridiculous too. Like, beyond UAE levels of ridiculous. He has a history of doing the kind of shit that you only do if you have ridiculous amounts of money, which in his case, he earned by buying up various companies in the Australian mining industry. Like any smart businessman, though, he's diversified his assets through other industries, and not just replica shipbuilding. For example, in 2008, he purchased a controlling stake in the brand new Gold Coast United Football Club, and they initially did pretty okay for a while until atrociously low attendance and constant breaches of league rules led to the league ousting Gold Coast United from the league in 2012, effectively ending the team. Clive Palmer wasn't about to let the FFA get the last word, though, so he quickly announced that he was starting his own football league called Football Australia. Ambitious.
Well, so here's another confusing thing is because football to Americans means soccer, but football in Australia has different meanings too because they have soccer or whatever football, and then they also have Australian rules. They have Australian rules football, which is insane.
Yeah, I don't get it.
They just they fucking lob the ball around and they don't wear like protective gear.
Yeah, it's like rugby meets soccer meets.
So I don't know which one he's talking about.
I think this is just normal soccer football.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that his ambitious new Football Australia League lasted all of 3 months.
Woo!
Because basically no players or coaches agreed to join the new venture. Also, FIFA was like, I mean, you can start the league, but under our rules, we can only sanction one like top tier league per country. So like,
sorry,
your plan to topple the FFA.
It'll be just like the XFL.
Fine, I'll start my own FIFA.
But anyways, like most rich dudes with crazy amounts of money, Palmer is also in the golf resort business. In 2011, he purchased the 5-star Hyatt Regency in Coolum. You're probably gonna hate me for pronouncing that.
Cool.
Anyways, it's on the Sunshine Coast. He has plans of turning it into an even bigger international destination, or he had plans to. Now, for whatever reason, that meant adding animatronic dinosaurs to a section of the resort, the type you used to see at malls back in the 90s during peak Jurassic Park hype. In other words, not very impressive or realistic, and mainly targeted at children. But, you know, still damned expensive to build and maintain.
The perfect combination.
The perfect mesh of just wanting to destroy a company. Now, the Dino Park was named Palmersaurus, and it was touted as the world's largest dinosaur park with over 160 animatronic dinosaurs. So yeah,
definitely the world's biggest.
He built Jurassic Park, sort of.
People are gonna come from all over the world to see Palmersaurus. The best possible name we could come up with for this.
I don't know, I'm really liking Palmersaurus, guys. You sure?
I don't know, I think it needs to have that Palmer in there.
Yeah, I gotta.
People see Palmer.
They think Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
It's a golf course. It's perfect.
Anyway, the dinosaurs attracted plenty of families, at least initially, many of whom were upset to find out that the admission fee was $37.50. Though Palmer dismissed their complaint, saying, "It's a lot cheaper than going to Disneyland." Other guests who had previously enjoyed the peacefulness of the Hyatt Regency were annoyed that the dinosaur park was built just yards away from entire sections of guest suites, putting them within an earshot of constant dinosaur sounds throughout the day, as well as creating what some described as an eyesore. What do you mean?
It's a feature.
And then there's the fact that
it's probably terrifying at night when you're trying to sleep.
I would assume they turn it off at night, but you never know.
With this guy at the helm, I don't think so.
The dinosaurs stay on. There's also the fact, though, that Palmersaurus' crown jewel, a T-Rex named Jeff, was placed right next to the 9th hole of the resort's prized golf course.
And people said that at 9 o'clock on the 9th hole, that he would come alive and start walking around. Oh, God. I like to think that the N-terminal name for Palmer Luckey at Facebook was Palmersaurus.
Palmersaurus.
Oh, we got to deal with the Palmersaurus again. Anyways, Jeff's presence, the T-Rex, it wasn't just an annoying and tacky distraction. This was the golf course that had hosted an annual Australian PGA Championship since 2002, the biggest golf tournament in the country. The PGA was annoyed that not only had their prestigious and dignified professional sporting event was now featuring a fucking animatronic dinosaur, but they were also annoyed at various temporary advertisements Palmer had posted throughout the course during the tournament promoting his various other businesses.
I mean, it's my course.
Yeah. So after just 1 year of owning the resort that had hosted the PGA Championships for a decade, the PGA decided to move the tournament elsewhere. He's fucking up FIFA, he's fucking up the PGA, and he's fucking up history with this Titanic too.
He also fucked up Jeff the T-Rex, who, by the way, eventually caught on fire and was destroyed.
He didn't catch on fire. Someone lit that motherfucker on fire, that's for sure.
We don't think it was arson. So we're just not gonna look into it. But yeah, Palmer's insistence on adding a dinosaur park to his resort, it somehow did not end up attracting enough visitors to justify losing the PGA Tour.
Could you imagine?
The reasons for this are best summed up by a now deleted 1-star TripAdvisor review that read, "Drove 3.5-hour round trip to take my 4-year-old to Palmersaurus. He loves dinosaurs and I have never seen someone so excited. But when we reached the far end of the park, which took 20 minutes at a very slow pace, and he says, 'Okay, Dad, let's just go home.'" 1 star.
Wow.
As of March 2015, after massive losses in revenue, the Palmer Coolum Resorts, Dinosaur Park, and hotel and most of the restaurants are closed, leaving only the golf course and the tennis courts. And the golf course doesn't even have a T-Rex.
What's the point in even going now?
I bet the green fees are dirt cheap, though.
Adult-sized mini golf. Yeah.
I wanted the dinosaur.
Is the PGA coming back?
No, they've moved on.
Anyways, Palmer's money, though, and his interests, they're heavily diversified. He doesn't put all of his eggs in one basket. No, he moves them around. Losing a football team, a football league, a prestigious 5-star resort, they're nothing when you've got other big plans like bringing back Zeppelins as a serious form of transportation. Now, sure. Much like building a new Titanic seems foolish when the Titanic's entire legacy revolves around it crashing into an iceberg and sinking on its first voyage, bringing back Zeppelins also seems like a strange choice given that the main reason Zeppelins stopped being a thing was that there was another transportation tragedy, the 1937 Hindenburg disaster.
Oh, the humanity.
But upon announcing his new company, Zeppelin International, in 2010, Palmer dismissed reporters' comparisons to the Hindenburg disaster by explaining that the Germans didn't have access to helium at the time and they were forced to use hydrogen. He obviously watched Archer.
Yeah.
And that's why the Hindenburg blew up, obviously. Things would be totally different if that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Palmer. However, not long after his Zeppelin International announcement, press conference and all that, and the bewildered press, looking into it, Palmer clarified to journalists that he actually in no way meant that Zeppelin International was going to be building actual Zeppelins, despite having clearly given that impression earlier in the same day. In fact, the only reason he was even calling the company Zeppelin International was that one of his business partners in the venture was a descendant of the original inventor of the Zeppelin.
Sure.
So he said the company was actually looking into a variety of differing things to invest in, such as
dinosaur theme parks.
Beef cattle. That was a big one that he mentioned. But I mean, hey, whatever. We might make Zeppelins in the future. Who knows? Stay tuned.
Beautiful meat Zeppelins. Delicious meat Zeppelins.
They are meat Zeppelins.
Yeah.
So anyway, 7 years later, we're still waiting on word about those Zeppelins or cattle or whatever Zeppelin International's been up to. I'm sure they're hard at work.
No, well, as with plenty of absurdly rich people, Clive Palmer eventually directed his attention towards politics because, as we all know, if you can run a business, you can run a country.
It's been proven.
Yes. But before officially getting into politics, Palmer made sure to make conspiratorial claims about Barack Obama and the CIA secretly funding environmentalist groups in Australia in order to hurt the mining business, which the CIA, of course, denied.
Oh.
Typical.
Yeah.
Anyways, in 2013, he formed the Palmer United Political Party. Just had to have his name in there. Also known as Puppy.
Yeah, Pup.
The Palmer United Political Party. Puppy. And he won a seat in the House of Representatives, but just barely, along with 3 Palmer United candidates winning seats in the Senate.
So
not a failure right off the bat,
Yeah.
but most
Not
of
the
his
best
stuff,
start, but not terrible.
most of his business ventures, they aren't terrible right at the beginning.
Yeah, he got in. He's got his foot in the door.
Yeah. All right, now let's have a meeting with FIFA.
But yeah, over the next 3 years, multiple Palmer United Party members resigned from the party, citing disorganization and broken promises from Palmer, who apparently provided no real resources or leadership, and would often swear at and bully party members.
Sounds like someone else we might know.
I don't know. After the 2016 election, Palmer United no longer had any seats in Parliament, and this past April, Palmer announced that he was formally disbanding the party after just 4 years. Sad.
But aside from virtually every non-mining business venture he attempts rapidly turning to shit, Palmer is most famous for his colorful personality and insatiable need for attention. Aside from his press conferences, Palmer appears regularly on Australian TV for interviews, usually defending accusations of corporate corruption and shadiness, and he's great for ratings because he has no filter, constantly criticizes the lying media, and also has a habit to get angry and then walk out prematurely.
It's good stuff.
He's our most ornery expert. But luckily these days, you don't even need to sit for a news interview or hold press conferences for vague and possibly non-existent Zeppelin companies to stay in the news cycle. You can do it from the comfort of your own home through social media.
Thank God. Clive Palmer may be 63 years old, but he is proving that age is just a number when it comes to shitposting on Twitter and Facebook. Up until just these past few months, Palmer's social media presence, it was pretty standard for a guy of his status. Lots of political commentary sprinkled with some personal insight. But around February, Palmer's feed gradually started to be dominated by memes, seemingly created by Palmer himself or an assistant, as well as lots and lots of poetry. And both the memes and the poems often involve Tim Tams, the goddamn delicious Australian cookies that we've had the pleasure of eating long ago. They're worthy of any poem anyone writes about them.
That's true. They're
delicious. Send us Tim Tams.
Yeah. Now this could be due to the fact that Palmer lost a significant amount of weight recently through dieting.
Yeah.
Maybe he's using this as an outlet for his hunger for Tim Tams, which he dare not give into if he wants to maintain this progress. Or Hungry Jack.
He
Get it out of
looks
here.
great.
Get the Hungry Jack, get the Tim Tams, get it out of my face. Now, at one point, he even posted a rare video where he quickly describes to the camera how much he fucking loves hamburgers, even though he can't eat them anymore. That's the Hungry Jack.
Yeah.
And regardless, Palmer's meme game is strong. And this isn't hello fellow kids territory, though it does definitely walk that line. Is this Clive's strategy for connecting with young voters to vote maybe a new Palmer United Party into office? It could be.
Yeah.
And if Palmer's status in Australia reminds you of anyone particular here in America, well, it would appear Palmer is down with that comparison, actually.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, shitposting is an effective political strategy.
Yes. And an effective strategy
You'd have
for
to
any company.
For
any
anyone.
company shit posts.
Yeah. Shitposting that's the future.
Yes.
And
the
Clive
past.
Palmer,
He's got his finger on the pulse.
he does. Aside from the memes.
Usually it's his pulse to make sure that he's not having a heart attack.
Okay, good.
But,
Yeah. Aside from Clive Palmer's memes, as we mentioned, he does have a lot of poetry. So let's read some examples. Cue the jazz, Daddy-O.
One horse town, two donkey funky fatty, rhubarb sandwich, crazy monkey, moondog landing, dig a mockingbird, turntables, timetable, one horse, one love.
Doggone Grog has joined AA. Going well. Only time will tell. Save your liver, chopped liver, make you shiver. Cats are yummy.
The endings are always a bit weird.
Yeah.
Mince slices, vanilla slices, dices, ratty fat sundog, dig a pony, dig a moondog, dig a dream, dig it, watermelon sauce.
He mentions watermelon sauce a lot.
What is that?
I don't know, it sounds delicious.
Is this watermelon juice with some thickening agent?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a sweet
You take
sauce.
watermelon, you get the juice out of it, and then you put some flour into it, and baby, you got a sauce going.
Watermelon juice is the best juice because one 8-ounce glass of watermelon juice is an entire watermelon that's just been compressed. It's just an explosion of flavor. But anyway, that's all just really scratching the surface though. The man is a prolific poet and a true Australian national treasure. His Twitter feed is my new favorite. But anyway, that's enough about Clive Palmer for now. Now it's time to finally move on to some more stories. But first, a word from this week's sponsoring advertiser, Movement Watches. Hey you, kid, time is it? Oh, you just looked at your phone, didn't you? Sad. Why pull your phone out of your pocket every time you need to know how late you are for your obligations when you can wear the time of day right on your wrist? I know, it's crazy. It's a fresh, new idea. But Movement Watches is this week's sponsoring advertiser, and they make classy watches like this one, and this one, and this one.
Movement watches start at just $95. Go check out their huge selection of classic and minimalist designs at movementwatches.com. That's MVMTwatches.com/MWW. That'll get you 15% off your order with free shipping for purchases over $50 and free returns within 60 days of delivery for purchases over those $50. If you change your mind, of course. Step up your watch game. You're gonna be getting so many damn compliments on your new watch. You'll be telling everyone what time it is. And we've actually had a few of you guys tweet us pictures of the Movement watches you've ordered. So thanks for supporting us and our sponsors. Again, that is MVMTwatches.com/MWW. 15% off. Join the movement. I wore one when I went to that charity gala. I had to wear a nice watch, so I had to put on my Movement watch. And it went over great. People loved it.
And you knew what time it was.
That's true. That was the most important part.
Anyway, the second half of the show is all about weird headlines for actual news sources. Starting with Pepe the Frog creator kills off internet meme co-opted by white supremacists.
Rest in peace, Pepe?
I mean, when he tried bringing Pepe back to like
as
the good
a-
side. Yeah.
Didn't really
like-
work.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you've already lost
You've
control.
lost control, yeah. You can't kill him either.
And the harder you fight against memes, the harder the memes fight back.
Yeah.
Pepe was lost long ago. You just gotta let Pepe go.
Now it's Ghost Pepe.
Yeah, and then they moved on to like the Moon Man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Moon Man. Those like the Sunglass Country memes.
There's lots that could take
a
its
lot of-
place, but
yeah.
I still think that Pepe will have the long-lasting relationship with the alt-right movement that, he deserves at this point.
He does. He made his bed. I'm
Yeah.
gonna miss him though.
Not me so much.
I don't know. There was a Pepe for everything there for a while.
I really enjoyed Pepe up until the point where he was just taken over by jerks.
Yeah.
My favorite one was the one where it was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Some
Oh,
of
there
them
were
were
so
great.
many good Pepes.
So many rare
So many
Pepes. Mm-hmm.
rare ones. Pepe wasn't a political frog. He was just a frog of many faces and emotions. And they took Pepe, and they ruined him.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace.
R.I.P. buddy.
Vancouver's drug problem is so bad that pigeons are making nests out of needles.
It's kind of like a
Sad.
beautiful image though, like the pigeon eggs growing in a nest of needles. It's sort of like ashes to ashes.
Yeah, no, and it's fine. It's like when you were a kid and you'd go swimming in like a filthy lake. You build up that
Yeah.
immunity.
Is if you get all the hepatitis numbers,
Yeah.
matters, you don't have hepatitis. They
Yeah,
cancel
the
each other
pigeons,
out.
they're becoming super pigeons.
Yeah. Yeah, these pigeons are tough.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be fueled by heroin.
And you should see the heroin shits they take. Just, they fucking kill
I
people.
haven't shit in 8 days.
They drop like a stone out of the sky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently Vancouver's got a bad drug problem.
We probably shouldn't be
Really
laughing
bad.
about it.
Really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Swearing while you exercise could make you stronger, according to study.
And also drastically reduce the amount of time left on your gym membership.
I mean, you don't need a gym membership when you're so fucking pissed all the goddamn time.
I do hate, there is people at my gym that are just, like the
That's
entire time
an
just like,
effective method. Like,
I fucking hate it.
'Cause-
Just let me watch my fucking TV in peace. I got Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy back to back, and that's what I want to run to. And I don't want to hear any of your fucking riffraff.
yeah, well, these guys, they know that it works. They don't give a fuck. What are you gonna do? Tell them to stop? Sir, can you please stop lifting all that weight so loudly?
Sir,
I couldn't help but notice that you were being very loud while you were lifting.
I was doing really great at identifying the fine wines category on Jeopardy, and you're really ruining my
Sir,
time.
I'm trying to run a 15-minute mile over here on the treadmill while watching Golden Girls. Could you please quiet down
Some
with
of
the
us came here
dumbbells?
to enjoy our times. That is me, though.
But yeah, swearing works.
I do think I run a 15-minute mile on the
Just a
elliptical.
nice 15-minute mile. Low impact.
Because my knees are going back.
Literally no impact.
It's good for my knees.
Yeah,
Yeah. I tried running once. Don't recommend it. Makes your thighs hurt.
it makes everything hurt.
Woo! All right. A man who slept next to his dead wife's body for 6 days recommends the experience. Because
5 out of 5 stars.
you're not going to miss her when her body starts smelling and releasing gas.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now I can say goodbye.
Yeah. It's like if you go on a vacation, you stay there just a little bit too long, you're like, you know what? Fuck this. I miss LA.
Yeah, it's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy's old fucking hippie. He's like, I mean, why send the body away right away? I mean, I kind of get what he's saying, but he kept it for like a week.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, I mean, I can see like a day. Get the family over, say goodbye.
That's how they used to
But
do
he's
it.
just like, yeah, I just put it on the other side of the bed in the
You used to just
in a cocoon.
fucking take pictures with these things in their living
Yeah,
room.
you prop them up,
Yeah.
take the one photo
Put them
that
on
you're
their
ever gonna
motorcycle that
take.
they loved, like that,
Yeah,
like that one
bury
weird.
them in their motorcycle.
Yeah,
Yeah. Dress them in their favorite clothes, maybe pose them.
yeah, like mannequins.
Yeah.
He
Why
died doing what he
Why
loved.
do funerals have to be
Posing.
lame?
We should make funerals fun again.
Make funerals fun again. I'm gonna get that hat.
Yeah.
GOP congressman says nobody dies because they don't have access to health care.
Yeah.
They don't. Healthcare is a luxury, you idiot.
Yeah. People die because of cancer, not because they
Oh, you have
don't get
cancer?
treated.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Cock.
It's like, whatchamacallit, Russell Crowe. He goes, oh, where's that naughty cancer at? I want to fight
Yeah.
that cancer. So you got to be like,
Apparently there was a study in like 2009, like before Obamacare went into effect. They're like, yeah, actually last year 45,000 people died directly because they didn't have access to healthcare. So I don't know if this congressman is lying or maybe he's using alternative facts. But I would argue, and hear me out, that without healthcare, sick people might die. That's just me.
I do love
That's just me.
all the town halls now. Like everyone's so aggravated about everything.
I love
that they don't even know what to scream at. Like now it's the Comey thing too is a big deal, but also like
Yeah.
during that thing, you just hear the crowd. I'm gonna step away from the mic because it's so loud. But he says that you just hear the crowd go. Ah! Like they're so.
It's hysterics.
They're so confused by
love
the mental hula hoops that you would have to like to wrap your brain around why he is thinking like this, aside from just being a shill for the party that he represents. But like, you can't honestly believe what you're saying, right?
It's incredible. Like,
No!
I almost wish I didn't actually really like all of my government representatives, because I would love to like go.
Well, you know, we live in that gigantic multicultural, multi-race bubble, so it's,
yeah, the People's Republic of California, which I'll get to later. But yeah, I mean, like, I wish I had a congressman who I hated his fucking guts. I would go to every like meeting and just be like, "Fuck you!"
You see that Betsy DeVos speaking
she-
at Bethune-Cookman College?
Why did they have her at a historically black college? She
Everyone turned their backs to her, and then the like the dean or whatever, the head of the college, got on the mic and like, if you guys don't quiet down, we're gonna mail your diploma.
Yeah, they do that anyway. No one gets their diploma on stage. That's a logistical nightmare. They hand you a blank piece of paper.
People are always going up there and fake tripping.
Yeah. But
Whoa!
yeah, Betsy DeVos.
I'm the class clown.
Betsy
Is there class clowns in college?
Probably.
The ones that don't graduate?
Yeah. The class clowns, they don't last too long.
in memoriam.
Yeah. Denmark brewer makes beer using human urine.
Well, I haven't even tried the whale dick beer, so how am I gonna go try this one first?
Well, this one sounds worse than it is. But first of all, it's a Pilsner. Can you guess what the name of the beer is?
Pissweiser, like on GTA?
Close. It's Pissner.
Ah.
But it's not brewed with urine. They're using
Urea?
They converted to organic farming practices, so they bought up all the porta potty waste from Europe's
That's
largest.
more than just pee.
Yeah, they bought it all up from a music festival in Europe and like converted it to soil, and that's where they grew their hops in. So it's gross, but there's no actual piss in the beer.
It's like that shit coffee that I drank, which is great. Not bad. But they don't use the actual shit. The beans are just inside.
Well, yeah, they
the
eat
shit.
the berries.
They
and
shit it
shit
out.
the berries.
Yeah, and it ferments like
Yeah,
the bean.
it just does it just right.
It's a delicious coffee. Ukraine bans Steven Seagal as threat to national security, which it makes sense once you read into it.
Yeah.
But it is a funny headline.
Once you see what he did on that submarine, was it a ship? Whatever. When he was under siege on that
under
boat.
siege. That's
What he did single-handedly.
Some of the first titties I ever saw in a movie.
I know.
She
They're
comes out of that
pretty good.
cake all with her titties hanging out and her
Yeah.
high-waisted thong.
Yeah.
I'll be in my bunk.
But no, they're not banning him because he's so fucking dangerous and
Yeah.
quick. It's because he's like, apparently he's good buddies with Vladimir Putin and is constantly.
Oh, the hockey player?
Yeah, the hockey player. Yeah, God, he fell. It's sad. But yeah, he's buds with Putin, and he spouts a lot of like pro-Putin propaganda, and I believe he's a Russian citizen now. I think he renounced his U.S. citizenship. So they're under.
But he was a sheriff.
The Ukraine is obviously, understandably, like, well, you're banned. They also banned Russia from competing this year's Eurovision contest.
All those hot new acts from Russia are gonna get.
Who was that? The band from 2 years ago or 3 years ago with the fur on their face? Winnie Pooh. Remember Winnie Pooh?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
They were like a metal band, and their drummer was upside down.
Yeah.
Eurovision's great.
Woman eats 7,000 pounds. That's in monetary value. Life savings despite cheating husband.
That'll show them.
Yeah. It'll also give you the gout.
Well, the doctors managed to get most of it out of her stomach.
Was it paper?
Yeah, it was U.S. money. They just like cleaned it off. They're like, all right, well,
It's fine.
everything's fine.
Let's make some coffee.
Don't worry
out of
about it. It's perfectly safe to eat money.
Yeah.
Speaking of the number 7,000, 7,000 bodies could be buried on University of Mississippi Medical Center campus. And the reason for this is simple. I don't know why they just figured this out. There was an insane asylum at that location for like 100 years. And a lot of those crazy people would die, and they just bury them on the grounds. And now they're like, oh, we need to build a parking lot. Oh, fuck, 1,000 dead bodies.
Yeah, you used to just
oh,
throw
fuck,
like,
over here, 1,000 dead
I
bodies.
used to just throw like tuberculosis patients in those things too, and be like, "Wow, they only got like 6 months left. Let's just."
In the UK, people find like plague pits in their backyard like all the time. They're like, oh shit, several hundred dead people's bones from the
Can the plague
bubonic
come back?
plague. Yeah,
Didn't it come back recently in a little way?
it always comes back.
It
Just
like
for-
rears its head.
yeah, they always try to reboot the plague
Yeah.
every couple of years, but
Hey,
never
things
really
going a little
takes-
too well up here.
Yeah. Remember me?
Miss me yet?
And final headline, you take it.
California may end ban on communists in government jobs.
Woo!
Finally. Yeah.
California can be who we are meant to be.
Yeah.
Filthy fucking commies.
Yes.
This is just another law that was on the books in like 1945, and they're like, it might be unconstitutional. We should maybe get rid of it.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to.
I don't think any
Oh,
communists.
the egg on my face.
Yeah.
We were banning communists.
I don't think any communists are getting elected anytime soon, but you never know. It's a slippery slope.
Well, they could sneak in there.
It's true.
Yeah.
It turns out I'm Joseph Stalin, and I'm not dead. I'm in the California legislature.
We need to quit stalling these bills.
Yeah, quit stalling these bills.
Pushing through.
You know, I think the bag tax should be 10 cents more.
Yeah.
And you have to bring your own bags this time.
Well, anyways, that's it for this week's episode that took you around the world and back.
Yeah.
Weekly world news. That's actually a copyrighted tabloid, but you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
well, copyrights aren't that important.
Sure. Anyways, watch our new episode of Tech News Day, where we're hoping that someone has figured out cable TV once and for all. And also, we did a podcast with Jared Kiso of Letterkenny. It's the funniest show that you're unable to watch because it's illegal anywhere
Yeah, it's not so bad.
anywhere outside of Canada. So check those out. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.